squeeze every last drop out. No stone will be left unturned. This is a final purge that we're going through. And you might make the conscious decision as we go through these ascension symptoms. You might sit there and say, well, I might as well help this along right now. And as we go through this phase of purging, detoxification, we can't take it all with us. We're going to have to leave it all behind. You're going to have to leave it all behind. And a lot of what we took on in the past couple of years was held in the solar and sacral areas. And anxiety, fear of the future, shame, not being able to express who we are, feeling like, we're muzzled, you can't express your authentic self, feeling like you're unsure of what the future holds. It actually holds abundance. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the fear. It's fake anyway, right? False evidence appearing real. The last few years, we held on to a lot of trauma. And as we go into 2024, this cannot go with us. We're detoxing, we're purging. This is the final purge as we squeeze every last drop out. Picture you have the wet towel and you're wringing it out and you're squeezing it, and you really got to get the last drop out, and you're squeezing it as much as you can. And we have to really clear the path. We're starting with a clean slate, and that's what this month is all about. It's about achieving the clean slate for 2024 and beyond. And you could write it in the comments. You could write it in a chat. A clean slate for 2024. We gave everyone enough time to get on the live stream, whether you're watching live or on the replay. Could you kindly, and I greatly appreciate if you would click the like button. It helps others find this message. And if today's message resonates with you, please hit the subscribe button, click the bell, select all. We have daily videos, 9 a.m. Eastern time, so you could become the greatest version of yourself. This is the final purge, so we can have a clean slate going into 2024. And it literally feels like we're squeezing every last drop out. And you might be called to rest. The last 24 hours, there was a lot of rest. There was a lot of sleeping, like all day long, just resting. And you can't have the old with the new at the same time. Everything carries a vibrational frequency. You clean your home, right? You want to have things organized. You can't live in filth. And, for years, you might not have been conscious of aware of the circumstances in your energy field. Could be your living conditions, the job, the relationship. All of these things are affecting our overall vibrational frequency. You might consciously now be putting extra effort in along with the ascension symptoms that are happening in the background. Once again, you might be consciously putting extra effort in along with the ascension symptoms happening in the background. Is that you? You could let us know in the comments. We want to hold on to certain things, a way of life, until you say, you got to just let go, and we have to ride the wave. And instead of just, making it difficult for this purge to happen, maybe you're going to do things that are helpful and assist it along the way. Working on our health is the norm going into 2024. And you just naturally are called to do it. The more that you fight against it, the old, and we've shared about this, if you're new to the channel, you could check out Ascension Symptoms Palette Changes. Your palate might have changed, and it might have changed multiple times over the course of your journey. Like processed foods. Can't eat them anymore. Sugar, can't consume it anymore. Sugar is it's like poison. It's like an addictive drug. We got to get rid of the refined foods. You got to get rid of the sugars. And again, you might be eating it and all of a sudden it doesn't resonate with you. Always take time to have this clean slate, a fast. You could do this with anything in your life. Take a break. Take a break. Take a break. And then after you take a break, then go back to it. And all of a sudden, maybe you can't eat this food anymore. Maybe you can't listen to this thing anymore. Maybe you can't watch this thing anymore. Remember, what we consume is not only what we eat and drink. It's what we watch and what we listen to. And if you're listening to these messages, I'm grateful for that. And I hope that I'm improving your everyday life. So working on our health is going to be the norm going into 2024. Over the course of my journey, I'm learning new things that I was not conscious and aware of in the past. And now, as I sit and I research, you start to change the limiting beliefs, your subconscious programs, and you might get tired from this as well. And every aspect is a free will decision. Can you still make the shift? People are like, can we still make the shift? Or can my blank make the shift? Like I received a comment and I had a discussion with a good friend of mine. And the comment was discussing the person's dad and having a conversation with my good friend. He was discussing his son. And we all have these people in our everyday lives. Could be family members, friends, a father or mother, or a son or daughter. And we have to really remember that everyone is having an experience that they are supposed to have. You can't make someone make the jump. You can't make someone make changes in their lives. And I lived through this as well. You might have loved ones and you want them to improve their life, and if they don't hear you, they don't hear you. And it's just the way of the world. Everyone's here in Earth School. You're in Earth School, and we're here to learn. Absolutely, Mama Boom Bam. I love you, Mama. Mental health, remember, everything is mental. And mental health is at the forefront, because if you're mentally feeling negative, well, then you're going to start drawing negative experiences into your everyday life. So that's why we have to work on the inside first. We work on the inside of programming, trying to refine the subconscious mind, and now physically detoxing, physically purging, physically removing densities. You might be losing weight. You might be called to fast, as I am during this time. It's squeezing every last drop out. We have to squeeze it all out. Remove it all. And it comes in many forms. If you're squeezing it all out, you could write it in the comments. Squeezing every last drop out. You have to get every last drop out. Ascension is discipline. Some people don't want to hear that, and that's okay. But we are here on this channel of self-discovery, this channel of self-empowerment, to learn the truth. This is discipline. It takes discipline. You have to take ownership. The things that I'm doing this week, I don't have to do. I might just go about how I normally do things. But my Nana left very important messages for me. There's a time for this and a time for that. And we could go into a period of growth, and we could go through a period of purging. And sometimes we need to purge. We always want to move forward. We always want to get bigger. We always want to grow. We always want to expand. But there are certain things we cannot take with us. We cannot take toxicity with us, because that toxicity, however it might manifest in your everyday life, is going to lower your vibrational frequency. If this message is resonating with you, could you kindly hit the like button right now? It helps others find this message, because there is no manual how to do this. You might see people and they talk about things and it just does not compute in your everyday life experience. It doesn't compute. You could say, this is not working. Okay, there's no manual. There is not one person. There's not a rule book to this. This journey is trial and error. And guess what? I had to try a lot of things. I made mistakes until we find it. And what works in what worked, say, in 2018 is not exactly how it works now at the end of this year and going into 2024. Moving forward, we have to cleanse, we have to purge, we have to detox, because toxicity cannot come with us. And that's what this year has been all about. It was not an easy year for many of us, but the toxicity cannot come with us. Toxicity in our bodies, toxicity in our thoughts, toxicity of people in our everyday lives cannot come with us, because in any one of these forms, as it might manifest in the physical, it will still lower your vibrational frequency. And that's why many people were pulled into the isolation season. Were you pulled into God's isolation season? You could let us know in the comments. And if you're new to this, there's a full video on the channel page, the isolation season. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And it's very difficult to do this. The energy is very taxing on the body. But again, there's discipline, there's finding a way, there's trial and error. Squeeze every last drop out. Hannah, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. Hannah writes, the secret for success is to practice, practice, practice. Absolutely. Keep trying, trial and error. Thank you so much, Hannah. I appreciate you. You have to find the path for you. And as we move forward and we have to evolve, it really is. Look at nature. This whole aspect that we're going through, if you view nature, if you observe nature, Tesla said, be the observer. When you observe these things, you get the answers. All things in nature, if you want to move forward, all things in nature must evolve or they die off. That's why we have to change, and it's not easy. Full video on Heinrich on the channel page, because you are turning into that beautiful butterfly. But your insides might feel like they're being liquefied. Your ego is screaming. It's screaming. What the heck's going on out there? You know, your insides are saying, what's going on out there? But this is the path. This is the path. And you might have to do things that you're not maybe at first glance very comfortable in doing. You're not comfortable to do, it's not comfortable to do these things. You might have to torch it all. You might have to bring forth Ragnarok. Oh yeah. You might have to bring forth Ragnarok. Is a purification process that's happening. And if you want to purify and start again, you yourself, remember, this is free will. You yourself might have to bring forth Ragnarok. Yeah, you could write Ragnarok in the comments. Ragnarok, if you're not familiar with this, and I've shared this as well, I'm very big on superheroes. It helps us learn about our everyday lives by listening to the stories of the superheroes. And Thor was from Asgard. And there was a lot of destruction happening, and they wanted to avoid Ragnarok, which was the total destruction. Fire, hellfire, brimstone, the purification of a place. And during this time, you know, another enemy came in and Thor said, And he brought forth Ragnarok himself, and it purified everything. It took down the old Asgard. It took down the enemies that took over Asgard, and it purified everything. And they all left. And he said to the people, because all the people were together and they were getting into a new Asgard. And he said, Asgard is not a place. It's a people. This journey is about people. Bring forth Ragnarok in any aspect of your life. There has to be a purification. And that's why there is no manual how to do this. Life is not going straight up. It's like this. And you say, holy shift, hold on for the ride. Hang on to your seats, kid. You got to hang on to your seats. So just like how he allowed Ragnarok to happen, they wanted to stop. Oh, you can't have Ragnarok. He stopped Ragnarok, and then another enemy came in, and then he said, you know what? This all has to be purified, and we have to start again. And that's what we're doing right now. We need a clean slate because this toxicity cannot come with us. However, it might manifest in your everyday life. That's right, Beth Bentley. It's like, holy shift. Here we go. So there are certain things in our lives that cannot go with us because it will continue to throw off our frequency. Throws off our frequency. And as we move forward, you might decide right now, I am actually, God is going to do it regardless. Things are going to be purified regardless. So you might just say, you know what? I'm just going to assist in this process anyway. I'm going to assist in this process anyway. And if you say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to put the work in. I'm going to be disciplined. And when I am disciplined, I can help it out, move it along. Everything needs to start flowing once again. And you could feel very stuck. You could feel very stagnant. Well, you might have to take the sledgehammer and just create change. You might have to take Mjolnir. You see Mjolnir back there. The hammer is very powerful. You have to be worthy to wield the hammer of responsibility. As the hammer can be used to destroy the old, the hammer is also used to build again. And that's this process that we're going through right now. It's a powerful month, and we all need to finish strong. You could write it in the chat. Finish strong. Anyone at any time can make a jump. But there is a narrowing that happens. And if you do things ahead of time, it makes things a lot easier than making a last-ditch effort. The frequency of this world is going up, and that's why we all go through these ascension symptoms and purging, and we all want to see this all to the end. Well, we have to make these changes. It's better to make free-willed changes in our diet, changes in our relationships, changes in our boundaries. If you missed yesterday's lesson, very important message on constructing ironclad boundaries going into 2024. What will you allow in your life, and how can we construct the blueprint? You're writing a blueprint for your life. So what are the boundaries that you're going to have in place? You could have boundaries for yourself, and you could have boundaries for other people. Boundaries for yourself. How are you going to approach your diet? How are you going to approach your sleep? How are you going to approach your social life? Many of us don't have social lives right now, so it's like, it's no big deal anyway. Might as not fight again. Might as well just work on work on purging and improving ourselves right now. But that's why we go through these things. And we're held there because with a sense of urgency, the frequencies need to shift. And that's why instead of just saying, oh, woe is me, start saying, okay, what can I do with all this space? We talked about creating space yesterday. Take a look at that message. Got all this space to operate now. Got all this space to operate now. What are you doing? Stop going back to the old. Purge the old. Go forward and start creating the new. Start creating the new. Transform, transmute. We're transmuting as well. We could take some of the old. That still is good. You don't have to get rid of everything. Certain things are good. We're going to take this with me. Nah, I'm not going to take that. All right? This is good. This is salvageable. This will be good. I'm going to take this with me. Nah, I'm not going to take that. Does that make sense? We're understanding what we're doing here. So there is no manual to go about this. A lot of this is trial and error, and a lot of this is for the individual person. No one, it's not a cookie cutter, okay, this is what we all need to do. It is trial and error, and you will find your path. I love each and every one of you. I'm very grateful if you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if today's message resonated with you. We do this daily at 9 a.m. Eastern. Tonight on Patreon, we're going to be hosting a live stream. We're all going to collaborate together. The link is in the description if you'd like to join us tonight on Patreon. And you could see hours, actually maybe over a month worth of content is waiting for you on Patreon. I'm grateful to be with all of you there. And we'll be discussing this and other things. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. I'm seeing them in the comments, and a lot of people feel this. It is palpable. Like some people will say, oh, Ascension symptoms, this, that, but I'm walking around, I'm meeting people for the first time, maybe at the gym, and they're experiencing the same thing, and we're all having a conversation. We're all sitting in the sauna. We're all having a conversation. We're there purging. Stop it. Shut it down, right? Ready? Shut it down. This year is not over yet. Shut it down. Do the work. Put in the effort. Get the purging done. And you could see a lot of people are doing this as well. So I love you all. I will see you all tonight on Patreon, and leave a comment on this video. What are you purging right now? How are you squeezing every last drop of toxic energy from your everyday life in the now moment? And just be disciplined. Take ownership of your life. No one is going to, quote unquote, ascend for you. You're going to have the inexhaustible belief in yourself. Beth Bentley, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate you, sister. Ascension Systems Yoga today at 11 Eastern time. Yeah, check it out with Bentley, yeah. We have to find all different ways. Beth, so even myself today, I have certain routines when I train. I made the conscious decision starting yesterday that this is how I'm going to approach this week to help squeeze every last drop out. The waters of the body need to flow, whether you do yoga with Beth Bentley, whether you are walking, whether you are lifting weights. But for the next few days, I'm approaching things a little bit differently. And you really want to focus on how we are detoxing, focus on getting rid of things so we can remember you are, I know you're an empath. Are you an empath? You could let us know. You're like a sponge. And you soaked up a lot of toxic energies the past few years, right? Doesn't that make sense? You are hello, I guess we're like SpongeBob or something like that, right? No, you're like SpongeBob. So you're going through life. You're an empath. You're like a sponge to your surroundings, and you might have soaked up a lot of toxic energies, right? So therefore, we need to now squeeze, right? Get rid of all the toxic energies. And now let's start soaking up some positive energies. We got SpongeBob's in the chat right now. So I love you all. I hope that this message is helpful for you on your journey. And be mindful of everything that we discussed today, because you can make a conscious effort to assist in this ascension process. You know, the symptoms, this energy is happening in the background. However, you can assist it along by making the conscious decision to make changes, switch things up, neuroplasticity, full video on the channel page. Do something different today. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Oh yeah. I love you all. I'll see you tonight on Patreon.